guess I had a lot of kind of thoughts going on, because I qualified senior year of high school just after I graduated in July. And so, I've been preparing for this for a while. Initially we were trying to train for, I guess, my freshman summer, which would have been 2020. But with COVID happening, that kind of put a big change in our training plan. So what happened is we all got sent home, and it was a little tough to get back into it because a lot of the pools were shut down, and we weren't really sure how we're going to do. But we got back on camp. Well, I had also been training in the fall, separately from the team because we weren't on campus. But when we came back in the spring, we were ready to just give it our all. We worked well with Meg and James, the coaches, to really just get as prepared as possible. And maybe we had some doubts, just maybe that, because after like a year of just, inconsistency, we weren't sure how well we'd do, but we knew we'd just, get as close to the original shape we were and do the best we could. I mean, it was a little interesting with COVID going on, but it was actually surprisingly normal. And it was really cool getting to kind of see the fruits of all that labor. Cause Olympic trials was kind of the thing I've been preparing for my whole life with swimming. It was like a goal I remember having like sophomore year of high school, because one of my coaches was like, went to like the Canadian Olympic trials. I don't know. But anyway, he got me focused on that. And so just kind of seeing, this is like the top meet in the US, right? But not the Olympics, but it's, got that competitive energy. It's the coolest meet I've ever been to. And it was a little strange because we haven't gone to a single swim meet since March of 2020. And just going from nothing to just this extravaganza, this kind of ode to swimming, it was a really cool experience. They really put all the energy they could into the swimmers, especially since they knew that this was kind of like the first real meet people were coming back to. And they really just made it a wow event. So it was really cool.
Honestly, I would probably be lying if I said that I wasn't a little bit nervous, but I think like being nervous is something that's like really good for races, and it means that you really care about it. So, try to embrace that as much as possible. But on the other hand, was definitely also really excited. And I owe that a lot to, my teammates, and then Sam and James, and then Meg and James as well. So Meg and James like definitely did a lot for getting us excited and like really tailoring workouts to like what they thought would help us, get most prepared for trials. And that was really helpful, and like emotionally like getting us really ready and like mentally prepared as well. So yeah, just mostly like excited and nervous, which at the same time, like they both are kind of exchangeable emotions. It was really cool. It was actually really awesome because we didn't have a season. So even though we had kind of like a little mini meet amongst like our own team, we didn't have a meet all season, and I hadn't attended a meet for like over a year. So it was just like honestly really awesome to finally go to a swim meet that felt like like a real meet, even though like we still had mascots and stuff. It just like was nice to compete for real in general. And then again, like it was just super cool, and felt like a really awesome like opportunity. It felt like, it felt like a privilege to be there and like to even like let alone submit it, but also get to watch like everybody else and like swim with people who have worked really hard to be there, and like dropped a bunch of time in finals, and like we're just super fast. So that was a really awesome experience. And like when you're little, like I remember when I was little, I watched like people on my team go and like compete in the 50 free. And I was like, oh, like that'd be so cool if I could go to the trials when I'm older. So it was just like a really cool experience, and I felt like really lucky to be able to take part in it and like share it with everybody else who was there. Honestly, so kind of like I was saying, like missing the feeling of racing, just like really taking that excitement and kind of like motivation, because you go to like a really high level meet like that and you look around you and you like see how hard everyone around you is working. You take that as motivation for yourself, and also kind of like carry that excitement into next season as well. You know, just like really, really taking on like the privilege of racing. Like at practice all the time, we talk about, you know, like getting to swim, like we get to swim. It's not like we have to swim, we get to swim. So kind of like keeping that same mentality heading into next season, and like really knowing that, you know, like every race really is like a gift because we didn't get to race a lot last year. And
Maybe it was like a month and a half, or 2 months before the meet. So the majority of my training was by myself. But let's see. Yeah, they were nice enough to write practices for me and allow me to swim with them. And it was nice to have like a coach again, being able to just yell at you and force you to do stuff. Because before, when you're swimming by yourself, and I don't know if you know, there's also was like this rule where after 45 minutes you have to get out for 15 minutes before you can get back in for another session. And usually what would happen in those 15 minutes is I would just like get cold and want to go home. But when you have a coach there yelling at you, obviously you don't have those problems. Well, I shouldn't say yelling, but you know what I mean. And I don't know, it's a nice experience to be in that atmosphere again. It's been like 2 years or so since I've swam with the team. I don't know. It's just nice to have people next to you that are doing the same sets, being able to race, being able to like go off blocks and coaches giving you feedback and whatnot. The pool was obviously the best pool I've ever swam in. It was, I don't know, it was definitely something else. The lighting really made it when you step up behind the blocks. I'll probably never forget that swim, even though it was just a mediocre swim, but the atmosphere behind it was pretty powerful. Yeah, it was like the only other swim meet I've had that maybe compared to the level of trials was USA Nationals like 2 summers ago. But even then, like this meet it was very clear that like this whole arena was focused on swimming. Like the whole town at that time was focused on swimming. And that's really not something that ever happens in the sport, really, because not too many people care about swimming. So it's definitely was really different in that sense, I guess. Also, it was just fun to. I was only swimming like one race on the last day, so I was able to just like go there and absorb the atmosphere, and then sit through other people's races and watch how they're doing. And at the finals, they always have this opening with this big light show and music and whatnot.